This is because millions of Jews want to hear what's going on here. And we have
Because of being at Chabad.org?
You too.
not Chabad.org, but maybe, or something.
I listen to all those other ones, why should I
That's
listen to
insane.
you?
Go ahead, you can't, that's why you're coming here. I'm afraid if I will put up on Chabad.org, nobody will show up.
No, they think we fans people won't show up.
You'll have bigger lines than they had at the polls today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. We are on page 103.
Excuse me, Rabbi, can I,
Sure.
quick question, a portion or two ago, when Abraham and Lot parted company, is the lesson from that that sometimes for families to get along, they just have to be apart?
What happened? Your in-laws made you nervous?
No,
Thanksgiving's coming up.
Yes, it's a good lesson. Yes, yes. Peace, good friends make good neighbors. Abraham told Lot, what happened? The people of Lot, the shepherds of Lot, and the shepherds of Abraham were fighting. Because the shepherds of Lot used to go take their sheep to places, to lands, pieces of land that didn't belong to them. And the shepherd of Abraham told them what's going on here. And that's what created rifts between the two sides. And Abraham initiated it. Abraham told him, Lord, it's not working out. You go this direction. I'll go wherever you go the other direction. Abraham initiated the separation because that's what brings peace. Very good point, yes. Sometimes with families, it's you have Thanksgiving here, we will have Thanksgiving here. And then everybody is happy. You sit on this side of the table, you sit on this side of the table.
Or if they come together and they fight the whole night.
That's why it's better not to fight.
Exactly.
It's the opposite of Naomi and Ruth. Whither you go, I shall go.
Amen.
Oh, that's an interesting thought. Page 103, the story that we're going to learn today in this parsha is about the shidduch of Isaac and Rebekah. We will start to learn on page 103, number 1. We'll start to learn a little bit from inside, and then we'll discuss it. You want to, Mark, if you're standing already, close the door? Yeah, you stand. Yeah, go ahead.
Abraham was old, well advanced in years, and God had blessed Abraham with everything. He said to the senior servant of his household, who was in charge of all that he owned, "Place your hand under my thigh. I will bind you by an oath to God, Lord of heaven and earth, that you will not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I live. Instead, you must go to my native land, to my birthplace, and obtain a wife for my son Isaac."
Here starts the whole fight for intermarriage, right here. He told them, place my hand under my, place your hand under my thigh. Why? He wanted them to hold his circumcision, even though it's not such a nice thing to do. Not the most. Today you can go to jail for such a thing. But we need to understand something very important, even though that's not what I really want to speak about, but it's something very important. A mitzvah, the power to sanctify the physical world, is only to Jewish people. For example, what's a mezuzah? Taking a piece of parchment, which is basically paper, the moment we write the Shmanda, it becomes a holy object. We're not allowed to throw it away, you have to kiss it, you have to respect it. How it became holy? Who made it holy? The Jew has the power to take a physical thing and to sanctify it. Who gave him this power? God. Where? At Mount Sinai. God came down to Mount Sinai and connected heaven and earth. Before Mount Sinai was a separation. Separation between spirituality and the physical thing. There are physical things, there are spiritual things. You cannot connect these two. God empowered the Jewish people to sanctify physical things. Give you an example. There is a story about a Jew in Bnei Brak who was sick, and he asked the Rebbe for a blessing. The Rebbe told him, check your mezuzahs, check your tefillin. He checks one, says it's kosher. The Rebbe writes again, check your tefillin, check it 5 times. Finally, they started to figure out what's going on. They went to they discovered that the scribe who wrote the tefillin, a religious Jew in Bnei Brak. They finally got to the bottom of it. His mother was not Jewish. Her father, they were Holocaust survivors. The mother saved the father from the Holocaust. They came from Europe together. She spoke Yiddish. They went their kids to Cheder. They never told her anything. What happened? He was a scribe. He was a religious Jew in yeshiva. A man with a beard. Writing mezuzahs and Torahs, but he was not Jewish. Then he did not have the power to sanctify the physical thing. God empowered the Jews to sanctify the physical thing. The moment he converted, now he can write the same mezuzah that he wrote before, now it's holy. The mitzvah of Brit Milah, there is another question. But the mitzvah of Brit Milah was a mitzvah that God told Abraham to do. The moment that God told him to do, that was the only object that was considered holy at that time. Today, I mean, after Mount Sinai, when a Jew in the Beit Din wants to take an oath, he will take a Torah, he holds in his hand. It's a holy object. Like, even today in court, they say, put your hand on the Bible. It's coming from Judaism. You hold the Torah and take an oath. It's in Jewish law. Because the Torah is a holy object. At that time, was no Torah, was no other holy object. The only mitzvah that he was commanded by God was the mitzvah of bris. That's why he told him, put your hand under the Bible. That explains another thing. We read in the Bible in next week's Parsha, then Abraham observed all the mitzvahs. We spoke about that, how he milk and meat and all of this. If he observed all the mitzvahs because naturally he knew what God wants from him, he had the three, as the way that the Medrash puts it, Abraham, his kishkes, told them what God wants from him. Naturally he had a feeling what God wants from him. Why didn't he make a bris before that? Because he wanted it should be a commandment from God. And only then it's really a mitzvah. It really can sanctify the physical thing. Anything that you do on your own, it's a nice thing, but it doesn't make. If Abraham would write a mezuzah, it wouldn't become holy. Even Abraham. Because God never told him to write a mezuzah. The only mitzvah that God ordered him to do and empowered them to sanctify it was the bris. That's why he told them, put your hand under your tongue. And he told them what? I want you to go and take for me gold for my family. Not from the Canaanites. Why not? It wasn't Jewish people then. Where was Abraham? Who was his descendants? Shem. Canaanite, was the son of Ham. Was Canaanite? What happened to Canaan? He was cursed by Noah. Canaan told Ham that his grandfather is naked, right? And then because of that, when Ham and Noah woke up and he saw what happened, he cursed Canaan. That was the people, the dynasty of more cursed by Noah, and the Shemite, or the dynasty of the blessed one. Anti-Shemite, anti-Shemi in Hebrew. The Shemites, or the people from Shem.
Did Judah have the same problem though? Doesn't he marry a Canaanite?
You mean?
Before the...
You mean the Adulami, the God? It's written she was the daughter of Shem.
So not a Canaanite.
No. Ishknani, the daughter-in-law of he had a connection to Canaanite, but she was not again. According to the Talmud and the Medrash and Rashi, it was the daughter of Shem.
Is this connection with Semites, anti-Semites?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he wanted somebody from the house of Shem. Why he to make him swear? Because Eliezer had a daughter. And Eliezer was the closest disciple of Abraham. He was the chief of staff. Wasn't he Luke? What's the name of the chief of staff of Obama now? He's a Jewish guy. Yeah, you saw him. What's his name? Oh, she saw him. Then, what I mean to say is, he was the most, the Messiah Eliezer, the way the Talmud learns that he was the person that he knew all the Torah of Abraham and he spread it. But he wanted to marry his daughter off with his rabbi's son. He told him, you're from a different dynasty, and I'm from a different dynasty. I want you to go all the way to Haran. My family are not nice people necessarily, but they are the right genes, so to speak. I'll convert her later to believe in God. But I want you to go all the way to Haran and find a girl for my son Isaac. Now, let's continue.
But what if the girl does not want to come back with me this way? Asked the servant. Shall I bring your son back to the land you left? Be most careful in this respect, replied Abraham. Do not bring my son back there. God, the Lord
He
of
told them, do not bring my son back. And then he continue, God, Lord of heaven,
God, the Lord of heaven, took me away from my father's house and the land of my birth. He spoke to me and made an oath. To your offspring I will give this land. Speaking of which, when he says offspring, Zerah, which Zerah is he talking about there? Because he's only talking about through Isaac. He's not talking
Isaac,
about,
that's what he's talking about.
not talking about the
because
rich
Ishmael is not considered a Zerah, the offspring. He's considered like an outsider.
in the
Outcast.
Parsha, though, it called him a Zerah, though.
Shmuel is called Zerah?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kizaracho. But later, what I see it, it's on page 93, number 14. What Sarah said? Sarah said in number 10, because he will not inherit it together with my son Isaac. And God agreed with Sarah.
So it's only certain Zerah or certain
Exactly.
seed that inherit, not all.
Not the real thing, basically. In any case, go ahead, continue.
He will send his angel before you, and you will indeed find a wife there for my son. If the girl does not want to come back with you, then you shall be absolved of my oath. But no matter what, do not bring my son back there.
The only one from the three forefathers who never left Israel is Isaac. Abraham left Israel, right? Jacob left Israel. Isaac never left Israel. God told him because it was considered like a holy sacrifice. But there is a concept until today. There are Jews who pride themselves for never leaving Israel. They were always in Israel. There is Jews who sacrificed a lot, family events, trips, business opportunities, just not to leave Israel. And really, by Jewish law, it's a problem to leave the land of Israel. If you live in Israel, you need to have a very good reason that should allow you to leave the land, Holy Land. For example, there are three reasons. Or you go out to get married, you're looking for a shidduch you cannot find in Israel. Israel is too small and you're allowed to go outside of Israel to get married. The second reason is you need to make a living and for some reason you cannot find a job, you cannot make a living. By the way, that's one of the biggest causes over the years for Jewish people living in Israel, because it's not the security reason. The real reason is when they couldn't make a living. The security was a secondary thing. And number three is if you want to learn Torah. There's a certain Rebbe that you cannot find in Israel, you want to learn Torah from him. That are the three reasons you're allowed to leave Israel. And the Rebbe used to say, people ask the Rebbe, government leaders from Israel, why he doesn't come to Israel? He says, I know how to get there, but I cannot find a way to get out of there. Because the moment you're there, what is he going to say? He has to get married. He has to learn Torah from a greater Rebbe. He needs to make a living. Then that's what happened with Isaac. I had all three reasons. I came to learn Torah by the Rebbe. Then I got married. Then I found a job. All three reasons. Then that he told them, don't bring him back. You can bring the girl here, fine. You can't, but don't bring him back. Don't take him back to Haran, Isaac.
Is there some significance to the fact that, the patriarchs tend to be symbolic of what happens later to the Jewish people? And we know that there were exiles, 2 exiles in particular. Is this a statement that there will be some Jews that always remain in Israel?
That's a nice thought, I must tell you. Than to say that like Isaac was always in Israel. So, but you think I look on the other side. Look, Abraham and Jacob accomplished. Abraham spread the believing God. Jacob went out from Israel and really started to flourish. Where he had 11 children in Haran. Where did the Jewish people start to flourish? In Egypt. What Isaac accomplished, you don't read much about Isaac. He was digging wells, and Kabbalah explains that the wells means they were to dig into the Jewish soul and so on. But there is not. Who accomplished? Where Judaism flourished throughout history. In diaspora, where was the Talmud? Where the Jews did so much better. Throughout history, you look, the years they were in the land of Israel, the years they were outside of Israel, the Jews who were in Israel, greatness of the Jewish people was much more in the diaspora than in Israel. Throughout history.
You've got Abraham symbolizing the whole Egyptian exodus. You've got Jacob symbolizing the whole Babylonian exile. But there still were Jews who remained.
There were always Jews in Israel. Not too many, but always. There was in time of the Nachmanides, there were 2 painters in Jerusalem. He said he came to Jerusalem, it was talking about 800 years ago. He came to Jerusalem. He came from Spain to Israel, visited Jerusalem, with 2 painters in the city. That's it, nobody else.
Is it the symbolism, though, that
There will be always Jewish
would make
people in
a
Israel.
legal claim to
It's a very nice thought, I must tell you. I mean, Abraham with this idea of the 2 exiles. Good thinking, mister. Put it in your notes of your book. The new book that comes out. No, it's good thinking, really. The servant plays his end. Let's continue. Number 9.
The servant placed his hand under the thigh of Abraham his master, and he took an oath regarding this. The servant then took 10 of his master's camels, bringing along the best things his master owned. He set off and went to Aaron Naharaim, to the city of Nahar.
All right, continue.
When he arrived, he let the camels rest on their knees outside the city, besides the well. It was in the evening when women go out to draw water. He prayed, "O God, Lord of my master Abraham, be with me today and grant a favor to my master Abraham. I am standing here by the well, and the daughters of the townsmen are coming out to draw water. If I say to a girl, 'Tip over your jug and let me have a drink,' and she replies, 'Drink, and I will also water your camels,' she will be the one whom you have designated for your servant Isaac. If there is such a girl, I will know that you have granted a favor for my master."
Okay, that sounds so great, right? So beautiful, so many people. If somebody will offer water to the camels, she's like a animal lover, like from FEMA, what is called a PETA, I mean, all the people, a camel logger, she will give on your own water to the, that's very nice. What Abraham told him to look for? Abraham told him to look for a girl who loves camels. Abraham told him to look for a girl from his family, right? And what kind of a sign is this? And let's say his prayers are being answered, and a very nice girl comes out, and she offers water to the camels, and she's actually a Canaanite, I don't know what. Yellow, green, okay, I don't know what, not from the family of Shem. Then what? He took a huge risk. There is a story in the Bible, we spoke about it last year, of somebody who did the same chokhmah and it didn't work out for him. You remember the story with Iftach? It's a Torah and yeah, on page 1201. We will not read the whole of Torah. He was a warrior, and he came and he said, he turned to God, he says, "God, if you would help me," on page 12 or 1207, it's actually this part. And number 29.
Then God's spirit came on
Iftach.
Abraham, and he passed through Gilead and Manasseh.
Skip the names. Number 30. Iftach vowed a vow to God and said,
"If you deliver the Ammonite into my hand, whatever comes out of the door of my house to meet me, when I return in peace from the Ammonite, shall be God, and I will offer it for a burnt offering."
Right, nice, huh? And what came out?
Daughters.
His daughter. And the Medrash points out that 4 people asked the wrong way. For some, God accommodated. I think 3 God accommodated, and Iftach is the example of 9. Then first of all, Eliezer didn't do the right thing. He was asking, oh, the girl will ask, that was, but still God cooperated. It's an interesting thing. Even it wasn't the right way to find the goal. You don't go out on the street and say, the girl that will offer me a free lunch, she is the right person for my son. It doesn't work like this. Who is she? Where is she coming?
Wasn't it his test to know that she was from the right family? because only that family would.
And what if it's another nice person on the street? Well, it can never be such a thing. And Abraham didn't tell them the person who is nice. Abraham told them, I need something from family. I don't mind an obnoxious girl as long as she's from the family. Eliezer, he wants a nice person. It's nice to have a nice person, but if it's working, if it's the right person. Okay, we continue on number 15. Mr. Martel.
Let's see,
He had not yet finished his word, speaking.
He had not yet finished speaking when Rebekah appeared. She had been born to Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the son of Abraham's brother Nahor. Her jug was on her shoulder. The girl was extremely good looking, and was a virgin untouched by any man. The girl went down, filled her jug, and then came up again. The servant ran to her. If you would, let me sip a little water from your jug, he said. Drink, sir, she replied. She quickly lowered her jug to her hand and gave him a drink. When he had finished drinking, she said, let me draw water for your camels so that they can also drink their fill. She quickly emptied her jug into the trough and ran to the well again to draw water. She drew water for all his camels.
Right away, his prayer was answered. Right away. She offered on her own water for the camels. Continue. The man.
The man stood there gaping at her, but he remained silent, waiting to determine for certain whether or not God had made his journey successful. When the camels had finished drinking, he took a gold ring weighing half a shekel and 2 gold bracelets weighing 10 gold shekels for her arms. Whose daughter are you? He asked. If you would tell me if there is a place in your father's house for us to spend the night.
Is anything strange in this last paragraph?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, the instructions really aren't being...
No, but in the number 22, what happened? What did he?
He's ready to pay her. He's giving her presents. He's not even sure she's in the family.
He does before he asks her who she. First he gives her the present. Then he asks, oh, by the way, what's your name? Maybe she's the wrong person. It was so strange that when he later told the story to the family, on next page, he tells the story what happened. On number 45, look at number 45. I had not yet finished speaking. Why I was so sure that Hashem helped him. Right? The Medrash points out there are 3 people in the Bible that when they prayed, their prayers were answered right away. Eliezer. The next person is no, Mr. Martelou also, his prayers were answered right away.
Hannah?
Right?
I was thinking of that.
Not right away. Not right away. I'm talking about right away. In the story of Korah, Moses said, if these people die normally, then I'm not a messenger of God. But if these people, open to page 747, if the earth will open the earth and swallow up these people, you'll know that I'm speaking in the name of God. And as he said, on page 747, at the top of the page, number 31, want to read?
Moses said, have we finished speaking when the ground under the sun and Haran split? The earth opened its mouth and swallowed them and their houses, along with all the men.
Of Korah. As he hardly finished speaking, the same words, the same story like Eliezer, right away, he was hardly finished speaking. And the earth opened right away. Then there is another person, Solomon. This is not in the Chumash and not in the Haftorahs, but I made copies from it. Just to get you an idea, it's every on 2 pages. Just take the first 2 pages and give it over. King Solomon, when he built the temple, the first temple in Jerusalem, when was the time, which time of the year was he building the temple, inaugurating the temple? Yom Kippur. They go, instead of fasting on Yom Kippur, they were eating on Yom Kippur. It was not about Yom Kippur. The only Yom Kippur they were eating drinking, having fun, and Hashem said it was good, he forgive them. He said that they had nothing to worry about. They were a little worried.
Did they dedicate it to God?
They finished me, it was a 7-day party. It was for sure Yom Kippur included. Then in number 1, if you see, there is like a prayer that King Solomon is saying. Mine, if you want to start to read, I'll Then Solomon said,
Then Solomon said, the Lord said that he would dwell in the thick darkness. Keep going.
oh, it's a nice prayer.
But I have built you a house to dwell in, a settled place for you to dwell in forever. And the king turned his face about and blessed all the congregation of Israel. And all the congregation of Israel stood. And he said, Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, who spoke with his mouth to David my father, and has fulfilled it with his hands, saying, And you shall turn to your...
Then he started a whole prayer, you should turn to your prayer. Yeah, it's a continuation, I skipped a little bit. That anybody who comes to the temple, God should hear his prayers. You want to continue? Number 19?
And you shall turn to your servant's prayer and to his supplication, O Lord my God, to hearken to the cry and to the prayer that your servant is praying before you. That your,
Skip to number 32.
and also to the stranger who is not of your people Israel, but will come
Even a non-Jew will come to the temple. You should hear his prayers. Go
who
ahead.
will come from a distant land because of your great name, your strong hand, your outstretched arm, and they will come and pray toward this house. You shall hear from heaven, from your dwelling place, and you shall do whatever the stranger calls upon you, that all peoples of the earth may know your name, to fear you, as do your people Israel, and that they may know that your name is called upon this house which I have built.
Actually, as a side note, King Solomon was praying that God should answer the prayers of the non-Jews more than the Jews. Because he said, the Jew, if you don't answer his prayer, he will forgive you. But the non-Jew will walk away and says, it's a bunch of baloney, it's nothing. Then therefore he says here, everything they will ask you should answer the prayer. Or everything that they ask from you.
That's a nice prayer.
Then we'll skip to number 1. He finished the prayer. Number 1.
And when Solomon finished praying, and the fire descended from heaven and consumed the burnt offerings and the sacrifices, and the glory of the Lord filled the house.
As Solomon finished praying, the fire from heaven came down. Then the Medrash points out there are two. Don't worry about it. That's the machine. There are 3 people. There are 3 people in the Bible that they will pray to God, and right after they finish prayers, the prayers were answered right after, right there. But let's look a little bit the difference between these 3. So far is the Medrash, but now when we look at these 3, how it's written here, when Solomon finished praying, and Korach, on page 747, it's written on top of the page, Moses had hardly finished praying, and now it's written by Eliezer. What's the words that Eliezer is using? When he finished praying, on page 105, number 15. Back to our Parsha. Number 15, what's written there?
He had not yet finished speaking.
He had not yet finished speaking. What's written by Moses and Solomon?
Hardly finished speaking.
What's written by Solomon? And when Solomon finished praying. That isn't strange. That's not a question from the Medrash, that's a question on the Medrash. The Medrash just point out the 3. Then there is another book, I heard it from the Rebbe. The other day I was listening to a video from Brengen, the Rebbe spoke. And he brings the Medrash, and then he's asking this question. He says, here, 3 people. Eliezer, the servant of Abraham, Moses and Solomon. Moses and Solomon, their prayer were answered when they finished praying. Eliezer, his prayer is answered before he finished prayers. His praying. Before he finished to speak, it's already his prayers were answered. Who is greater, Eliezer or Moses? What do you think? You tell me. Moses, right? Solomon is still greater than Eliezer. With all due respect to Eliezer, There is before Mount Sinai and after Mount Sinai. Moses and Eliezer, it's after Mount, and Solomon's after Mount Sinai. Eliezer, a nice guy, all good and fine, but it's not that Abraham's prayers were answered, it's Eliezer. Why Eliezer's prayers were answered quicker than Moses and Solomon? Maybe Moses, I can say, Moses, it was not a good event, swallowing up people, God was not in a rush. Took another minute, so what's the rush? But Solomon, a fire from heaven on the altar, that was a sign that God is in the temple. Solomon was praying to God, show that you are here. And right as he finished, the fire came down on the altar, right? And burned all the sacrifices. A miraculous fire. Then an altar on the fire is a good thing, right? It's building the first temple, the inauguration of the temple, the excitement was unbelievable. It took 7 years to build the temple. And King Solomon, together with the temple, he had a wedding he married the daughter of Pharaoh. It was Freilach there. It was a lot going on there. But there, God was waiting until he finished to pray. Eliezer, right away was answered before he finished to pray. What do you think? Why?
Because God just did it for him. He didn't wait for him to ask. He knew what he wanted.
Because he's a Gentile, and the problem is that he might give up a little.
Yeah,
That's a nice thought, I must say, based on what you just said, but
If he doesn't find the wife for Isaac, then the next generation doesn't happen.
It's a shidduch of the Jewish people. That was not who it is, Eliezer or Yankel or Zorach or Borach. It's what the mission is. The mission was to marry off Isaac and Rebekah. And this mission is so important that even when Eliezer is saying, oh, the girl will give me water, even it was not the right way to approach it, God walked to that. Before he finished, God said, just do it, just do it. Let's be done, we have to get them married. Because getting married a couple in Jewish tradition is more important than a fire on the altar. If the fire on the altar will wait a few minutes, no. In 2,000 years we don't have an altar, we don't have a temple. But a shidduch, a marriage of a Jewish couple for the next generation is the most important thing, especially the first marriage. And that's one of the explanations why the story is in such details. This story is written in the Bible twice. First of all when it happened, then when Eliezer tells the story to Laban, they repeat the whole story. The Medrash says, why is this written twice? I mean, you can say, and Eliezer told Laban everything that happened to him. Because a page later, when he came to Isaac, it says, and Eliezer told Isaac what happened to him. We don't repeat it a third time.
But we see that often, though.
Not so often. To repeat a story twice.
We
In
see
such
that with,
details.
with Joseph and the dreams, and they repeat it multiple times. We see that
Anytime-
in these other parshas where there's parallels and things.
Every time there is multiple, there is a question right away. Because there is so many things that we learn from an extra letter, from what is not written in. Here, the whole story twice. Why? Because the Torah wanted to establish that the marriage of the Jewish people is a number one priority. And therefore, God was cooperating with Eliezer more than he deserved. Because it wasn't about Eliezer. It was about what he wanted to accomplish. And because he wanted to accomplish a marriage, that's why it's so important. What's the lesson even deeper to us? The lesson to us is, ani ledodi vedodi li. Right? God is the husband, the Jewish people are the wife. Anyone who makes a shidduch between a Jew and God will answer his prayers before he finishes speaking. About the shidduch, not about everything else necessarily, but about the shidduch. Even he goes the wrong way, and even he's asking not, I want signs from you, and even if it was, God says, whatever you want, just bring the Jew to God. Just make the shidduch, just make it happen. But it's also, first of all, this literal sense, a Jewish marriage is a very important thing, but also in a spiritual sense, we are matchmakers. Every one of us who brings a Jewish child, a Jewish adult, close in a groom together. Ani ledodi vedodi li is not about a bride and a groom, it's about God and the Jewish people. and he brings them together. That's what we can learn from this from this lesson. Why here by Solomon and by Moses they were just answered when they finished to speak, and by Eliezer it was before he finished to speak, before he finished to say what he had to say, his prayer. We'll continue now. We are we will continue on page 107. Another important thing, it's written twice here, when Abraham sent Eliezer to take the gold, what was his biggest thing to convince her to go? What would convince her to go? Why should she come? Why should Rebecca want to go, leave her home, leave her family, and come all the way to Israel?
All that jewelry, more to be had.
What?
There's more to come.
More than that. She never met her husband, right?
How old was she?
Huh?
How old was she this time? Little?
How old was she?
12.
She was a virgin still, so.
3, 12? It's 2 opinions.
13.
If she was 3, that she was taken home to Abraham's home, she was raised there and he married her when she was 12. Other opinions say she was 12. She was a young girl. Why should the family want to send her? There is no picture of the groom. And how old was the groom, by the way? 40. Very good. He wasn't 80, but he was 40. Usually, what makes older men, why young girls marry older men? Very good. Abraham gave Eliezer a paper, a contract. Then the moment Isaac marries Rebecca, he gets all of his estate. Now many people say, I told my son if he's marrying out of the faith, he's not getting a penny. You know what? And he's young, you are young, he doesn't think about the new when a person will be dead. And 30 years from now, oh, my parents will learn to love her, she'll convert. And even if they promise me and I do what they do, then they had a fight with me and they changed their will. Now he gave him the money. He didn't wait until when he will die, he will get the money. He said if he marries her, he will give her all, Abraham will give Isaac all his money. That Abraham and Eliezer showed up with a big contract, a good deal, with a deed. That and everybody knew that Abraham was a very rich man. So everything goes through to Isaac. That was something to convince her. Well, that's not the reason why Rebecca was convinced, but Abraham did everything in his power to make a shidduch. It's written that when it comes to a shidduch, you don't sit to wait, Hashem will send, it'll be okay. Look from Abraham to approach Eliezer. He sent him all the way to Haran. He gave him money, he gave him camels, he gave him goats, presents, everything. He made a big effort to find a goal for Isaac. The whole thing of 3 and 12 is not written in the text. It's all the way that the Talmud, we try to calculate in the numbers and the ages in the Bible from other places. That's how they come up with these numbers. But it's not written in the text how old was Rebecca.
She could have been 3 years old, or 12. She must have been awfully strong to be watering all his camels, you know.
Good point.
It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. You're right. You're right.
3-year-old.
Doesn't make sense, but you know,
At 12.
couldn't be. First of all, you will agree that today kids develop much faster than 50 years ago, right? All the doctors say,
That's what
right?
they're saying.
And for sure from 200 years ago, and from 500 years ago, and from 1,000 years ago. 1,000 years ago, we didn't have people tall like him, I can tell you that. They didn't exist. You go to the temple in Prague, from the Maharal of Prague, Alt Naishur. It's a temple that is old, the building is 800 years old. The entrances are very low. Obviously people were very short. Then we are going wrong. That why couldn't be that in the biblical times, people were developed faster? I mean, Oses, when he's 3 years old, how big is he? a dog, a horse is an adult. Why cannot be the kids develop faster? Could very well be. And today kids by the age of 9 are much bigger than what they were 200 years ago. And she was a little faster.
They got married right away, when she was 12 or 3.
She was, 12 by 12, by the age of 12 she got married. Yes. Okay, we'll see what happened here. In the bottom of page 109, the last line on page 109 you're supposed to read.
Now,
It says, tell me if you're ready to send Rebecca with me or not. If not, I'll go to the right or to the left. Who is the right and who is the left? Rashi says the right are the children of Ishmael, still from the family. To the left are the children of Lot, again from the family. There's another Rashi says that Abraham told them, if not from this, take from the children of Aner, Eshkol, and Mamre. We spoke about the Shabbat, the 3 friends that he had, the 3 partners. But for sure not the Canaanites. That's the point. But that's what he gave them an ultimatum. You're telling me yes or no. Don't dream me a copy. Tell me what you want. What's the deal? Page 111, number 50.
Laban and Bethuel both spoke up. It is something from God. They said, we cannot say anything to you, bad or good. Rebecca is right here in front of you. Take her and go. Let her be a wife for your master's son, as God has spoken.
Beautiful. Take her. The blind and the two, whatever you want. Go ahead. It's from God. Such righteous people. Okay, we'll continue.
But what's his belief in God at this point?
Who? Bethuel and this?
Yeah.
And they saw the story. They saw the miracle that happened. That he said, he told them the story. He said, I told to God, he said, the God of Abraham. They were idol worshippers, but then suddenly they saw this miracle in front of their eyes. They started to believe in God. They saw the money too. There were many reasons to start to believe in God. Go ahead. Many people have many different reasons. Go ahead. Number 52.
52. When Abraham's servant heard these words, he prostrated himself on the ground to God. The servant brought out gold and silver jewelry, as well as articles of clothing, and gave them to Rebekah. He also gave precious gifts to her brother and mother. He and his men then ate and drank, and they spent the night.
Okay, first of all, a strange thing. He gave to his brother and mother. The father disappeared. Continue.
When they got up in the morning, the servant said, let me go back to my master. The girl's brother and mother replied, at least let the girl remain with us for another year or 10 months. Then she can go.
Oh, first of all, again, the brother and the mother. You don't hear about the father. And then what they say, that's a new story. Let us stay a little longer. Didn't they say last night, take her and go leave? First of all, maybe that was Eliezer's problem. You take her and leave. Get up and go. Don't stay overnight here. Leave right away. Hashem helps you. Do it. Cash on it. You make some money in the stock market. Cash on it. Don't keep it another 20 years and then lose your pants. Okay, what happened?
Do not delay me, said the servant. God has already shown my mission to be successful. Let me leave so that I can go to my master. Let's call the girl and ask her personally, they replied. They summoned Rebekah and said to her, do you want to go with this man? I will go, she replied.
Okay. And what happened here? The brother and the mother. What happened to the father? Rashi says, and the Medrash says it, Laban and Bethuel had no plans to let her go. They came up at the rich uncle from America, and he has money. The plan was to poison him and to take everything. They put food in front of them. I didn't read it. They made a whole meal. And Abraham and Eliezer said, I will first do my mission before I sit down to eat. I'll first do what I'm here for. And he gave the whole speech. Meanwhile, by the speech, the plates, somebody moved the plates or somebody moved the chairs. Bethuel ended up to eat the poison that was prepared for Eliezer. And in the morning, it was only the brother and the mother. The father was done. Then that's why the story also changes. No, we didn't really mean you should leave right away. Blind date. We are in 59.
Right. They will let their relative Rebekah go along with her attendant. Abraham's servant and his men. They blessed Rebekah and said to her, "Our sister, grow into thousands of myriads. May your descendants inherit the gate of their foes." Rebekah set off with her girls, and they rode on the camels following the stranger. The servant thus took Rebekah and left.
Okay, you want to continue, Mark? Isaac,
Isaac
number 62.
was on his way coming from Bir Lahai
Be'er Lachai Roi.
Roi. He was then living in the Negev area. Isaac went out to meditate in the field. Towards evening, he raised his eyes and saw camels approaching.
What he meditate was evening?
Prayers.
That was Mincha service. Spoke about it, I think, last week. Abraham established the Shachi service, the idea to daven in the morning. It doesn't mean that Abraham said the Amidah, another repetition of the Amidah. He didn't say Ashrei, but it doesn't mean he davened every morning. The concept for praying to God in the morning, you learn from Abraham. Isaac, we learned that he prayed in the afternoon. Jacob prayed at night. That's why we have 3 prayers a day. And then we have one more on Shabbos, Musaf. Who is this according to, who is this represented?
Joseph.
That's represented by Joseph. Musaf means an additional prayer. Yosef means an additional, she prayed for an additional child. Yosef is represented by the Musaf prayer. That he was just going out to pray, or coming from prayer. That when Rebecca arrived, he was in the middle of prayers. Go ahead.
When Rebecca looked up and saw Isaac, she fell from the camel. He asked the servant, "Who is this man coming toward us in the field?" "That is my master," replied the servant. Rebecca took her veil and covered herself.
What do you learn from this? That you have to cover your head. The whole idea of head covering, one of the places that it's mentioned here, let's see if he brings it here in the little notes. No, I don't think he brings it.
The veil for the face, as opposed to the head.
It's written covered herself. Actually, it's not written what she covered. She covered herself.
The wedding veil is traditionally to cover the face.
The face,
the
too.
identity.
Yeah. It's more. It's also it's almost like a statement like hovering over the bride, like protecting you. That's what the covering the veil is. But it's the face. Yeah, it's more the face. But could be it's not just for the chuppah. It could be the whole idea of covering the head. A married woman should cover her head. That comes from him. Partially, at least.
What's the idea behind covering the face?
Honestly.
Spiritual idea. My mother-in-law's explanation. Then it's because the Shekhinah rests on the face of the bride during the chuppah. Every time the Shekhinah rests on something, we cover it up. For example,
Moses.
Cover the Torah.
No. We cover the end of the coins and they bless the congregation because there is a blessing of the Shekhinah between the fingers. That's why we don't look at the coins. We cover ourselves with the towels because you're not allowed to look at the Shekhinah. And Shekhinah means God's presence. It's a stronger presence of God in the room or on the face or between the fingers. That's why you cover this up. You say you cover one of the explanation, the spiritual, the Kabbalistic explanation for the kippah is because the God's presence is over the head of the person, and we cover God's presence. We cover the head. That's why we cover the head.
It's kind of where the whole concept of the halo comes from, and Christian
Halo?
thought too.
What's that?
Those things above the head, kind of.
Oh, that there is like a what do they call it?
It's like a ring, like a light, a ring of light.
Yeah, I heard that there's a glowing. Some people tell me I saw glowing around the face. I never saw it glowing. But it's probably coming from there. Everything is coming from Judaism. But that's explanation in Kabbalah why we cover the head is because of this. Because it's out of respect to the Shekhinah. The Shekhinah is about. There is a verse in the book of Job that says God spoke to Job from the storm, from out of the storm. But the word storm in Hebrew is se'ara. Se'ara could be written with a samech, means a storm. With a sin, it means Then one of the explanations, God spoke to him from his ear, so to speak, from above his head. God was hovering over his head. That's why we cover that. Because he covered up on the Shekhinah, on the light of the presence of God. That's one of the explanations why it covers your face. But it's a way of marrying here. It's an expression of ownership, of marrying the wife. That's one of the ways to do it. Like we do the ketubah, we do the ring, we do the chuppah. That's one, and that's like a chuppah, but in a more personal way.
Rabbi, how old was Isaac? He was
37.
So
According
this
to
is
Kabbalah,
like 3 years later.
oh, what happened? Until Isaac was 37, he could not have children. He didn't even have a mate. He didn't even mention him. Nobody was there for him. Only after the Akedah, then he deserved to be married and to have children. It was a transformation of Isaac.
Aren't there multiple explanations as to how old Isaac is?
Maybe
6, 26, 37. I know there are multiple.
Really? Rashi says 37.
Well, Rashi has to get that from the first verse to the Parsha, because Sarah lived to be 127 years old. She had him at 90.
Right.
So if she dies right after the Akedah, then he's 37.
You're right.
But there are other explanations as to how old he is. And one says he's very young, one says he's 26, I believe, and the other says it's 37.
She died before, basically.
That
She died
her
later.
death was
Much later,
Yeah.
not right away. Yeah, it makes sense. But the way Abraham and Isaac speak to each other doesn't look like they could be the baby. He asked him, the son. He calls him the lad. Right? Now, he's not a baby. Now he's like a teenager in Hebrew.
No wonder why he wants to sacrifice him.
He told him to carry, he couldn't be that young, he was carrying everything up to the...
Yeah, he's carrying the stuff on his back.
So what did he do for 3 years?
That's not the only reason. I think there's all the calculations are holding this. What?
So what did he do for 3 years?
To Isaac?
Yeah.
After the Akedah? Just to recover. He went to therapy.
Yeah, one explanation with the slave was shame and neighbor.
He went to the Isaac also went to the Shem of Neighbor.
That's what I was asking.
After the Akedah, I think, yeah, on the way back from the Akedah, he stopped in the yeshiva of Shem and Neighbor for 3 years. That's for 3 years. Yeah,
Because this is 3 years later, and it said when he got married, he was consoled for the loss of his mother.
you're right.
So I don't think it was like 20 years old. He's still going to be consoled?
I mean, some boys cannot get over it. That's not, you hear what you're saying, but you can say that it took a while. Okay, let's read actually the last line before we finish, number 66, because there is an important thing here. You're supposed to read? Yeah.
The servant told Isaac all that had happened. Isaac brought the girl into his mother Sarah's tent, and he married Rebekah. She became his wife, and he loved her. Isaac
Let's stop right here. She became his wife. What's interesting here? She became his wife, and he loved her. Something strange about the statement?
He loved her after
Get
owning
married
her.
first. Yeah, you get married first and then you fall.
Oh, she became his wife, and then he loved her. Obviously, there is another way too. What's love? The Torah teaches us something very important. Love is not an attraction of the first minute. Love is learning to live together and being inseparable. Like a couple, the Rebbe once, young girl was supposed to get married, entered to the Rebbe's office. The Rebbe had a personal interest in the family because the father was killed, was Chabad Rabbi, was killed in Chicago, was in the 50s and the 60s, and he left a few girls, and the Rebbe, the mother of the girl came in for a private audience before the girl came in, and she told the Rebbe already who she met, and she goes out with this guy, and she goes like him. Then she came in. The Rebbe asked, what's with Ashida? I said, yeah. I said, no, we went out with a few guys, yeah. I said, what's with this guy? He's this. What's with the other guy? He's this. What's with this guy? The Rebbe looks at her and smiles and tells her, you read too many novels. You think that life is like in the novels. I said, love is something that you grow with. You share a life together, and as you share the life longer and longer, the love is deepening more and more. Then we learn it from right here. He married her, and he loved her. As he was longer, he was more in love. I asked many times, classes of people, women, when were you more in love? The day of your wedding or now? People didn't think. Some people said, many people said, now! And many said, the day of the wedding. I want to say, again, I could know from before who's going to say what. Then here it is, and then there is one more line. Isaac was then
consoled for the loss of his mother.
How was he consoled? The Talmud says that when Rebecca came, she started to light candles. Not only she light candles, when Abraham was lighting candles, the candle used to burn. When Sarah used to light candles, it burned for Friday night, miraculously until the next Friday night. After Sarah died, Abraham continued to light the candles, but it used to burn out after a few hours. When Rebecca came, the same miracle came back, that he consoled, he found comfort after his mother because he saw that here is the girl who continues the legacy of her mother. For us.
Okay. Anyway,